Oh, well, my name's Fox9Tailed, aka 9bitFox, and I love Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 was one of my first games I think I ever played, or at least I can remember from this life. Sega Genesis being my first console I have ever had. And I even love the animated series such as Sonic Underground and the show Sonic the Hedgehog. Not the Sat AM one, though I now own the whole series of Sat AM on DVD and read the Sonic Archie's comic books that are based on Sat AM. So yeah, I love the series as well as the wide cast of characters that Sonic has with him. Though of course some of my faves of course are Shadow, Sonic, and Silver. And I have played many of the games from both classic and modern, though sadly I missed the adventure games, but I've played most of the Sonic games after Heroes, though I did skip Lost World and Sonic Boom because I heard those both give you headaches for different reasons.
Oh god. Oh god.
Here we go.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh god, forever! Oh god, no!
I've even played the games that people have said were complete garbage. I don't care what anyone says, Sonic Unleashed is one of my favorites, as well as Shadow the Hedgehog. We need Shadow the Hedgehog 2 and give Silver his own goddamn game. So I can kind of see where some people come from when they like or dislike some of these Sonic games, both modern and classic. Though when Sonic Colors was announced, I was ecstatic to play the game, and when I played it, it was awesome. Running at full speed, switching every so often between 2D and 3D perspective, it was great. Even adding wisps, aka power-ups, was a new way to, you know, allow your speed to grow stronger and gain new abilities for Sonic to easily, you know, go around the map. It was great, it was fun. Then of course I lost my goddamn mind when I was standing in line for the Superman ride at Six Flags, and on one of the screens that they have, you know, when you're waiting for the line to move, they showed the trailer for Sonic Generations. Seeing both classic Sonic and modern Sonic running together was just amazing. It was great, and when I played the game, I was so happy. The game played amazingly. Playing as both Sonic and Classic was great. It was cool playing through old levels I remember, some newer levels, and even playing through, you know, levels I'd never played before. Because again, I have not played Sonic Adventure, but by God, when I hear the song, "Trust me and we will escape from the city," the game was great, and it was a great love letter to Sonic and his legacy. I loved the game so much, I could not wait for the next one. Then Sonic Lost World and Sonic Boom happened, and I said, maybe I'll wait a little longer.
Hello, Knuckles.
Then I heard it. A new Sonic game was coming out, made by the same guys who made Sonic Generations. I watched the trailer and saw a city destroyed by egg robots. And of course, we see our blue blur ready to fight as he rushed into battle. But I knew exactly when we were in trouble. When I saw classic Sonic once a freaking gun! After that, I knew immediately that this game wasn't going to be the thing that would top Generations, but it would just be a rehash of Sonic Generations and maybe add a couple new things. I honestly love the idea about creating my own character, and I feel like Infinite will kind of get a bum rap like characters such as Mephiles and Silver, similar to how 06 was a giant burning dumpster fire. Fun burning dumpster fire, but still a burning dumpster fire. But because of Sega's laziness and poor writing, now an awesome character is probably going to be left to the wayside. I'm going to talk about how Sega could have easily have made one of the best Sonic games since Generations. First off, the story itself of Sonic Generations isn't all that bad. If you cross out the Shadow DLC backstory of Infinite and the comic, you know. Though with some reworking done, that itself could be done a bit better and could support this. Also, FYI, I won't be going over the entire game, but more or less the beginning and a bit of the center and then the ending of the game, instead of, you know, mapping everything out. But the biggest problem that they have to get rid of is classic Sonic. He isn't needed in this story in any way, shape, or form. He has his own game, which is a prequel to Sonic Forces, Sonic Mania, and I highly recommend it. But he has no purpose in this story, and he was just shoehorned in here because, oh, they liked classic Sonic in the last game, so we're gonna make him, you know, in this game too, even though he makes no goddamn sense of the story at all. We're gonna make him now from a different dimension. What? Now then, Infinite's backstory. We're gonna rework Infinite's backstory because it makes no goddamn sense with the game itself or what Infinite says, and it is just kind of lame. Basically, how it would open, Eggman finds a jewel known as the Phantom Ruby that has a power that can match, if not surpass, the Chaos Emeralds. This is due to the power to create mass illusions that are felt to be real by anyone who is, under its influence. Eggman, then experimenting with the ruby and taking a page out of his grandfather's book, found a way to create his own ultimate living weapon, using the Phantom Ruby as this creature's power force, thus creating Infinite. Though of course he tries to one-up his grandfather as he tries to reverse engineer the ruby to try and duplicate its power. To instead of just having one ultimate weapon, he would have an army of ultimate weapons. Though most, if not all, of the ruby replicas are imperfect and do not give him the results he's looking for. Eggman would then just throw those replicas away like trash or sending them to his other labs for storage. But also even using some of them for power sources for some of his new robots, some of the new bosses in this version of Sonic Forces. We could possibly even still have the Shadow DLC where Shadow is called in by Gun to sneak into Eggman's base to find out what the Doctor's newest creation or schemes are going on. This would then be the turning point for Eggman, since he would then send out his newest creation, Infinite, out to fight Shadow. Similar to how, the Shadow DLC occurred. But instead of Shadow winning the fight, Infinite defeats Shadow badly. Infinite, probably even using data collected by Dr. Eggman, creates illusions of past villains to fight Shadow. Though in the end, it's a one-on-one battle against Infinite and Shadow, which Shadow loses. This will then show to Eggman that maybe he doesn't need an army of Infinites. If one Infinite could defeat the ultimate life form, Infinite should easily be able to beat a certain blue hedgehog. From there, the game starts as it did in the actual Sonic Forces game. Sonic runs to the city and is defeated by Infinite and captured by Eggman. Cut to 3 months later, the world is almost completely taken over by Eggman, except for a small group that is still resisting, known as the Freedom Fighters. Okay, I know a lot of you are rolling your eyes right now, but hear me out. The Freedom Fighters themselves are a thing in both Sad AM, the comics, and Sonic Underground. This would be a great nod to those who love those 3 Sonic stories, and maybe even bring in some of those fans from those series who don't really play the games as much. The Freedom Fighters are being beaten down. Knuckles is trying to be the leader, but of course, it's Knuckles. He's not the greatest guy to do this kind of stuff. So really, Tails is the one in charge, giving Tails more of a reason to do something other than just to hang around with classic Sonic. Ever since Sonic was captured, most of the world has fallen to Eggman. Many people are giving up, losing hope. The resistance is desperate. They keep losing more and more men, and at this point, they're taking anyone who wants to join up with them, since many have, again, lost hope. Cue ROC. ROC is brought in as the Rookie. Tails gives him an experimental weapon, aka the Wispin, that he's been working on to empower those who are not as trained as the rest of the Freedom Fighters. ROC gets a mission then to clear up the Green Hill Zone. We already got a tutorial on how to play as Sonic in the beginning, so this is where we learn how to play as the OC, and will act as our second act in Green Hill Zone. ROC will also fill in for Classic, having a 2.5D gameplay, allowing us to platform with our gadgets and stuff in 2D, kind of Metroid-like almost, but with a little bit of speed added, as well as switch to 3D as well. After finishing the OC's first mission, we will get a boss battle against a robot. After defeating the robot, our OC will find out that the robot is powered by a replica Ruby. And not only that, Tails is able to hack into the machine and find out that Sonic is actually alive, and he's been tortured for the past few months in Eggman's base in Empire City. We'll save the Death Egg for a little bit later. This will then put Tails into a tough spot. The Freedom Fighters' numbers are spread extremely thin. Tails doesn't have any of his experienced friends to help, but then he remembers the Rookie who just took down a big bad robot himself. So Tails sends the Rookie to Empire City. This will then take us from Green Hill Zone to our second zone, Empire City, where our first mission is busting into Eggman's base by first running through the city. Though as soon as our OC makes it into the city, a similar scene will happen between our OC and Infinite, as in the mission in Metropolis Capital City, where our OC swings in and Infinite flies up beside him and the two look at each other. This right here could hint at something, that there's something between the two characters, and that Infinite knows it. Then, of course, Infinite starts screwing with the Rookie, as he messes with the Rookie's perception of gravity and such, as Infinite does in said mission above. Which, FYI, the Metropolis Capital City, I think is probably one of the best levels in Sonic Forces. I played that level so goddamn much. Throughout the mission, Infinite would taunt the OC, saying things like, "What do you think breaks faster? The sound barrier or a hero's spirit?" Funny, you can be the fastest thing alive, but when you're trapped in a cell, it seems like the world around you is moving faster. The mission would end with the rookie busting into the Eggman's base, with Infinite seemingly letting him do so. Next, we have a mission where the OC would fight through Badnik's and Eggman's defenses as Tail leads our OC through the base to eventually end up at the cell block. Here's where we'll find Sonic, but not the happy-go-lucky Sonic, but a battered and bruised one. Not only that, with a broken spirit to match. Sonic is in so much pain, our OC has to help him up, because Sonic can barely stand, let alone run. Even the fire that burned in his eyes has dissipated, as it seems now hopelessness has taken its place. This would then lead to the first boss battle, which isn't so much a boss battle as Infinite using his powers to summon an illusion of Chaos final form, which would be way too powerful for our OC to take on, especially while carrying an injured Sonic. So this fight would really be our OC trying to escape the monster and also the base. Maybe similar to the crab fight in the actual game, or really the crab run, dodging attacks thrown at us as we run away and try to escape the Eggman's base and eventually heading back to HQ. Back at HQ, everyone would be happy to see Sonic, of course, though when they see how much of a bad shape he's in, they see he's not ready to go back out there and fight Eggman again and save the day. And not only that, Sonic doesn't think he can do it. His friends try to encourage him, and he gives a faint smile, but he doesn't really truly believe he can anymore. Especially against Infinite, who seems faster than him. Unlike Shadow, who disappeared and reappeared, he actually seemed to move to where Sonic could see that he actually missed. This would then begin to make Sonic doubt himself even more, putting him to a state of deep thought as he starts wondering, how is he gonna do this? He just wouldn't understand or guess or know how. His speed is his greatest strength, but even then it seems to be broken. He doesn't know if he can do that anymore. And this, a spiral of self-doubt would just build up in his head. That is, until something breaks this thought process. As he looks up when he sees our character Rookie holding out a fist to Sonic, as if saying, "You can do this." Sonic would smile as he's broken out of this thought process and gives a fist bump to our Rookie. We can even cut to a week later or so when Sonic's a bit more healed and he can go on a couple missions teamed up with our OC. And this would be a majority of the game, where he would go on missions teamed up with our OC, though each mission showing that Sonic isn't as fast as he used to be. Most of the game would be between Sonic and the OC as they go on missions together, switching between the two characters similar to Sonic Heroes, or maybe even how the Sonic team-ups are in Sonic Forces. The game and story would focus on fighting Eggman's forces, as well as defeating the robots that are powered by replica rubies. Tails could even believe that maybe getting more of these replica rubies may hold the key to beating Infinite, and that they would need 6 of them for him to analyze enough power to, fully understand how it works. The game would also feel more similar to something like Sonic Mania, or more the classic Sonic game, having 2 acts for a level and then a boss battle at the end of each. Though in classics you had a boss at each thing, but anyways. Having 1 replica ruby for each level would mean 6 levels, which would mean 12 acts and 6 bosses for each. Instead of the 30 smaller, not very memorable maps, we could have 6 levels with distinct looks to each of them, and have them much longer and more detailed and, more thought process put into them. Instead of having the 30 short stages, have 6 well-designed levels with 2 acts in each. You can even have a couple side missions where you play with or as the other Sonic cast as they fight back Eggman's forces, or maybe even you can do a couple side missions like play as Rouge to infiltrate a base stealthily to gain schematics on where the next replica ruby is, or the robot that it's powered by, and what its weak spots are. This could also be used to know which Wispin you should take in the battle for that stage and to fight that boss, and stuff like that. This would give more for the other characters to do and give us more of an idea of what everyone else is doing in between Sonic and the OC's missions. Also, we can even still have that they're on a certain kind of time limit like the original. Tails hacking deeper into the robot that the rookie destroyed in the beginning, Tails could find out that Eggman is planning something big, and it'll happen in 3 weeks' time instead of 3 days. But he can't understand or know what that thing is because the files are corrupted or whatnot. Though, of course, later on and after a couple missions, they'll find out that Eggman's great plan is actually, of course, that he's building the Death Egg. But not only that, the Death Egg will be specifically designed to maximize Infinite's power. At this point, Tails learning that Infinite's powers are illusions. He's able to create massive illusions that trick your senses into believing they are real. But if Eggman's plans comes to fruition, this ability will spread to the entire world, all at once. This would give a reason not only for him to build another Death Egg, but also to set a time frame since it will take some time to build said base. Sonic could then worry that he's not fast enough yet as they approach, the final end. Sonic could be worried that he's not fast enough yet to beat Infinite. But of course, ROC will get him out of this funk as well as everyone else. Sonic gaining a bit more confidence in himself again, and being like the old Sonic from before. This could then lead to finding out that the last replica ruby they need, and the robot that it's powering, just so happens to be on said Death Egg. Tails could also whip up a device powered by 5 of the collected replica rubies that should be able to break Infinite's illusions within a small area. So long as the two stick together, they shouldn't be affected by Infinite and his abilities. This, of course, will have the OC and Sonic busting into the Death Egg for the last level, but Infinite waiting for them as he grabs the OC and whisks him away to another part of the Death Egg. Sonic is then left alone with the device that cancels out Infinite's illusions. This would be the first time in the entire game, other than the beginning, that he's been alone. Though, of course, he's not actually alone, as the last replica ruby-powered robot appears out of the shadows. The one thing that would be the ultimate test to see if he's regained his full speed. Metal Sonic. The last level would be made up of 3 boss fights. Sonic's level being him versus Metal Sonic, and our OC against Infinite. Sonic's battle would be more relying on boosting and speed, while ours would be more on platforming and a little bit on how Infinite works in the actual game, shifting reality and possibly even gravity. He could even summon some old enemies from past games that our character has to fight or dispel. All while this is going on, Infinite would taunt us as he says things like, "We aren't so different, you and I. Do you believe he is your friend? That alone is an illusion. It seems you've deceived their minds better than I ever could." Though eventually it would seem like we would defeat Infinite, but in actuality it's a trap as Infinite stabs his claw into our chest, and our OC suddenly shakes like static as Infinite pulls out a Phantom Ruby replica. He then would add, "I told you we weren't so different. It seems one of those replica rubies the doctor was so eager to file as a dud bore fruit after all. Those clumsy robots probably dropped your ruby. Or maybe you grew a consciousness while you were being transported and escaped? Did you not ever wonder how you could keep up with the fastest thing alive? How a lone rookie could bring hope back to the hopeless? This was all an illusion. An illusion possibly even stronger than my own. Hope." But alas, you are nothing more than a failed imitation of myself. Thus revealing that both the OC and Infinite are constructs or illusions created from their own rubies, given form and made belief through others' minds. This would be the point where our character would fall to their knees, as now they contemplate if they are real or if they're not, if anything they've done is real. Though this would be interrupted as Sonic busts through the wall with the replica ruby he got from Metal Sonic's defeat in one hand and snatching your ruby from Infinite's grasp. Infinite would then start lamenting over breaking our OC. You're too late, Hedgehog. This illusion has been broken. Your rookie is nothing but a fake. All he is a finite version of myself. Sonic would then pipe up. You're wrong. So what if the rookie's an illusion? Through thick and thin, Rookie stood beside me. When I was broken, the rookie put me back together. And now I'm gonna do the same for my buddy. Infinite would just spit. Pitiful. That would then be right before Eggman's voice is heard over the intercom. Infinite! The Death Egg is almost complete. Hurry to the power core. Infinite would chuckle as he turns to Sonic and the OC. It doesn't matter now. Soon your world will end. Infinite would then disappear as Sonic then still looks to the broken OC. The OC will look down as if broken, or possibly even in a deep thought. But a white-gloved fist would catch our character's eye as they look up. Sonic would then say, I can't do this alone. Even though I'm pretty strong, I think I'll need something more than me. Maybe someone to give me a little push to victory? This will then have our OC smile as their image begins to solidify from that static state. Our OC raises their hand and fist bumps the blue blur. The song Fist Bump will start playing as Sonic and the OC run into the main power room, where Infinite is in a protective bubble that the two can't break. But also powering the Death Egg are the 7 Chaos Emeralds. Sonic then smiles as he says, let's see what we can do. As the 7 Chaos Emeralds glow brightly and break out of their containers and spin around the Hedgehog. But while this happens, our OC looks a bit confused, but then smiles as a similar thing happens as well with him. But it's with the 5 replica rubies inside Tails' device that was given to the two, as well as the 2 rubies that Sonic was holding. Suddenly in a flash of light, Sonic would go supersonic, and our OC would change, possibly a purplish or pinkish color similar to the Phantom Ruby. Even their own mask would form over their heads, similar to that of Infinite. Also, this would cut back the cost for animating a Phantom Ruby form for every OC's possibility. This would then lead to a boss battle against the Death Egg itself, having a similar feel to that of the battle on Sonic Unleashed, flying along the sides of the Death Egg a la Star Wars trench runs of the Death Star, to destroy different power cores along the Death Egg surface, to then firing Chaos and Phantom Spears from a distance away from the massive Death Egg. The Death Egg would then be destroyed by the Rookie and Sonic teaming up and doing a supersonic double boost, shooting straight through the Death Egg's core. That would finally then destroy the Death Egg as it explodes. Eggman, of course, narrowly escaping and cursing Sonic and the Rookie. Though Infinite doesn't seem to be anywhere in sight after the destruction. Our heroes then would return to Earth, as the planet is now saved once again. Our OC tells Tails that they are leaving because there's more replica rubies out there. And with that, there may be even more beings like the Rookie too. The Rookie says his goodbyes to everyone, but meets up with Sonic, kinda how it ends in the actual game. Sonic looks to the Rookie and thanks our character. Thanks us for everything we've done. Our character makes some gestures as if saying they didn't do anything, but Sonic chuckles a bit, knowing that's not the case. Then they kiss. For the last time, a closed fist catches his attention. Sonic then, smiling his usual self again, says, one more last fist bump. The two fist bump before running off in different directions, leaving it open not only for our OC to return, but also for another installment to have multiplayer with other people's OCs. We can even have a scene where all of the Sonic characters start talking like, man, that's one tough bunny. And like, wait, I thought he was a hedgehog. No, I'm pretty sure he's a wolf. If only to say that our OC looks different depending on who saw him. Then showing that, yeah, all of our designs, no matter what design we made or built, that is canon because any character could have seen that exact design. And that's my idea for how they could have basically made Sonic Forces great. How it could have been better, more well-designed game, allowed us to explore more of, this war front, and even again have our character feel more of a part of this story, and if anything, make our character still canon within the story to pop up again in future games. I don't know how everyone else felt about it, having a custom character. Maybe they felt like this is just a fan fiction, but even then, many stories nowadays are, in a sense, fan fictions of past creators. If you read any Superman story, any Batman story from, the last couple years, that's technically all fan fiction created not by the main creator. These are all stories made by people who love the series, hopefully. And I just wish Sonic Team had a writer who could do this, who could know, like, Sonic is a great game and here's how you could build it up and make it great, but they just fall into familiar traps, which kind of sucks. Sonic Mania is good, but I want to see modern Sonic do better, and hopefully they can pick themselves up after this. I'm going to make another video on how they could continue onward with Sonic Forces, again, to reintroduce the OC and, fix some things, but still keep Sonic Forces canon, but also to fix those bad stuff. Either way, thank you so much for watching. And whichever videos that I've done, links are on my face descriptions around there somewhere. And hit that subscribe button to check out more videos if you like this one. Either way, thank you so much for watching. Please check out the videos. And one more last fist bump. See you later.